What are you afraid of? What are your deepest fears? What makes you the most uncomfortable? Is your list of fears long or is it short? And importantly, how much do you let it control you? Today, I want to talk about fear, how it can consume us, how it can hold us back, and how God can help us overcome it. And let me be clear, it's totally okay to have fears. We're human and it's part of life. I have my own fears. I hate heights. I hate the deep ocean.
And I also used to be super scared to be a firefighter.
Dude, that fire tornado. Freaking beautiful.
But one of my biggest fears is losing my family. Even now, that fear is still there. But I have learned how to manage it without letting it totally take control of my life. There was a time when fear ruled everything I did. Every day, I was afraid to get sober. I was afraid of meth heads trying to kill me. That was a big one. Every step I took was in fear, it seemed like. There was a verse I memorized when I was a little kid, 2 Timothy 1:7. For God does not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That verse is always been in here, but I never actually applied it to my everyday life at all. Not until fear had completely taken over my life and I didn't even want to leave my house or didn't know if I was going to prison. Basically, until I had no options left, did I take that verse seriously. Jesus became my last hope. So I started taking that verse seriously, and I realized that if fear was controlling me, then that's not God at all. It wasn't from God. Fear was not His Spirit working in my life. It was something else. And the more I asked God to take control of that situation, take the fear out of my life, the less scared I was. Over and over, God proved Himself. I would give Him my fears and He would take them away. I still have fears I'm working on, but I learned something really important. God will never give us more than we can handle. We can definitely feel overwhelmed, but you have to remember, if you think you can't handle it, God thinks you can. Maybe you need to step back and try again later, but He won't give you anything you can't face with His help. There's a story I love to think about when I'm afraid to face things head on. Two cows see a storm coming. One cow runs towards the storm, while the other one runs away. The cow that ran through the storm got through it quickly and reached the calm on the other side. But the cow that ran away from the storm made the storm last much longer for itself. Fear works the same way. If we try to avoid problems because we're scared of them, they grow worse and they become harder to deal with. But when we attack our fears head on with God's help, we can overcome them and regain control of our lives. We live in a world that's only getting darker, scarier, and harder to navigate. The Bible warns us about the times that we're living in, and we are getting closer to the end. There will be a time when you can't avoid what's coming. You have to choose. Are you in or out? It's going to be scary, no matter what. But now more than ever, we need to trust Jesus with our fears. No underground bunker, no stockpile of supplies will save us. Only Jesus can save us. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's wrong to prepare yourself, but nothing is more important right now than getting right with Him. When we have to face the horrors that are to come, there is only one way out. Fear makes us act irrationally. When we're up against the wall, we make bad decisions. That's why it's so important to give our fears to Jesus and to trust Him, even when we're terrified. We don't have to let fear control us. There is a way out. Jesus is alive, and He's more powerful than anything on this earth. Whatever you're afraid of, He's stronger, and He's ready to take your fear if you're willing to let Him.